Hi, this is Jeremy from Ross Automated Solutions. There's a massive amount of macroeconomic data available through Fred, but it's often hard to explore it in a structured, reusable way. So I built a modular macro research pipeline, what I call Part 1, designed to produce clean macro context that downstream research can consume without re-implementing everything from scratch. This project is organized as a series of notebooks. The earlier ones build foundations, but the real culmination is notebooks '06 v2 and '07, which I'm going to focus on the rest here. Let's look at notebook '06 v2, or the fully built macro research pipeline. The first thing this notebook does is it generates time series charts for every registered macro metric. These aren't hard-coded, they're driven by a simple metric registry. This makes it easy to add, remove, or swap macro variables without rewriting the pipeline. The goal here isn't forecasting, it's establishing a clear view of macro dynamics over time. Next, we look at how each macro variable behaves, conditional on macro regime. These distribution charts show not just averages, but dispersions, which is critical for understanding regime variability. This helps answer questions like, what does unemployment typically look like during contractionary regimes without embedding any of the trading or forecasting logic? This table is one of the most important outputs of Part 1. It summarizes each macro variable by regime, including the number of observations in each regime. The count is important. It prevents overinterpreting thin regimes. This acts like a macro context API. Any downstream research can condition on this without knowing how the regimes were constructed. Notebook 7 shifts the focus from static regimes to transitions. Here, macro regimes are treated as events, not just labels, which allows us to track when the economy actually moves between states. This is especially useful for monitoring and post-analysis, not prediction. As an example, this cell looks at GDP growth before and after contraction onsets. This doesn't attempt to forecast downturns, it simply answers what typically happens around regime shifts. This kind of analysis is extremely useful for understanding how strategies might behave across macro transitions, even without generating signals. That's part 1 of the macro research pipeline. It's intentionally frozen and modular, designed to produce clean macro context, not prediction. Future parts will build on this foundation without modifying it, which keeps the research stack stable and reusable. If this is useful, feel free to explore the repo or build on it yourself. Thanks for watching.